Thank you, Cheryl. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spokane. How are we doing? Great. Huh? I know we got fooled. Look, I wore short sleeves thinking it was going to be a nice spring day and walked out the door and realized I need a jacket. So, still getting used to the weather up here anyway. So, welcome. We're glad you're here. We are all about our mission in transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world, and I would also say in their world, right? Because it's not just like way out there, but it's also this little thing that we have. So anyways, I'm Jeff Tawney. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. And first things first, want to make sure we all take our phones and put them on silent. And if you don't know how to do it, there's a little button on the side, or you can turn the volume button way down so we don't have those little interruptions. As always, we want to begin our time together this morning by sharing our opening affirmation. I will say it once, and then I will invite you to repeat it with me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. Together? There is only one presence, one power, active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. This is Unity's foundation principle. One presence, one power, one life, living through and as each one of us. This morning we'll be hearing from our transformational speaker, Karen Dunmore. She's a licensed Unity teacher, and her message this morning is titled, The Music Changed. I know that change happened in the 60s to the 70s, but I don't think that's the topic of her. Karen will also be leading us in today's meditation. We will also be very blessed this morning by Cheryl Miller-Arndt, who is also going to be providing our special music, which is nice to hear that resounding sound in the service this morning. Thank you so much for your talents and before we get any further, I'm going to invite Karen Darling up to share news you can use, and then followed by Hank Brockling, who'll be talking about spiritual tools. Karen?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good to see you all and out there in TV land. Sadly, our scheduled youth gathering today at 2 p.m. in Manitou Park is canceled due to inclement weather and the possibility of rain. Sorry, I'm getting all steamed up. This is church news. That shouldn't happen, but anyway. Please stay tuned for a new date for this family fun event, and contact Jackie, Reverend Jackie, if you have any questions. We have a clothing drive that ends on the 5th of May. So if you have any donations to add, please bring them this week and help us raise some money for our general fund. Starting next Sunday, we will be starting our Spiritual Journeys meditation service. We are launching with a wonderful Power of 8 meditation led by Al Koenigsfield. The meditation will be held in the chapel, and you do not need to sign up in advance. Please arrive by 8:55 a.m. to sign in. And we will continue to follow COVID-19 protocols. We look forward to seeing you there. Speaking of next Sunday, we are excited to welcome a new transformational speaker to Unity, Julia Hayes. The title of Julia's talk is Small Wonders, the Essence of a Sacred Life. Julia will share her spiritual transformation as she faced the death of her young daughter. Julia writes, I stood at that edge holding my daughter over death for 3 years. I was privileged to witness so much, and I was gifted the rare chance to bring my daughter back into my arms, away from death, and walk from that edge back toward the light of love, to live in the fullness of sacred small wonders. Wow. That's going to be powerful. The following Sunday, May 9th, we have Jeff Tawney sharing his message titled Defining Ourselves, which is a continuation of his Everything is Spiritual theme. Jeff states that before we can be one to another, we first need to be one with ourselves. He will talk about the importance of knowing ourselves, how we are wired, defining our personal values, and using tools like the Enneagram to help us understand who we are so we can begin to understand others. Finally, our reflections, observations, and inspirations Zoom call will be directly after services, and Karen Dunmore will be joining the call. So please Zoom in and join her at the number on the screen. We hope to see you there. And now I will turn it over to Hank Rockling for some spiritual tools you can use.
Good morning, spiritual family. It's always good to be with you. I want to share something with you that's special to me, that my whole life has been dedicated to renewing my connection with the Creator fully and completely, and this is a really important thing that I want to share with you today. It's your I am presence. Now, you may have heard that term, and it's used a lot, and I just want to talk about it for a few minutes to just give you more impression as what it is. These things have become clear to me over the years as I've explored this. So what is it? Well, it's the real you. It's your Christ self. That's the term Unity uses for that. And it's also your Creator self. Each one of you are Creator beings. Each and every one of you. Each one of you in every instance is creating your life, your reality, all of it. It is that part of yourself that is your Creator self. And it's also the unique being that you are. Do you realize in all of creation, creation is this humongous thing beyond human imagining, and you are unique in all of that. And you're unique and special and loved by God in that unique way. And it's that unique being that you are. It's also your love, light, and life power. That's where your life force comes from. It comes from God through your I am presence into you, through all the channels around you. And it's where God abides in you. And it's also how God creates in the world. You know, He doesn't have a body. We are His body. We are His hands and His feet. And so God creates through you in that way. Now, the question is, how do you use this? It is the ultimate powerful force. And the question is, how do you use it? Well, you use it, call it forth in words. The truth is, you're always creating your reality. Either you're doing it consciously by using words and creating things you want to create, or you're creating it unconsciously. That's what Jane and Gary taught us for these many years and the Q process was about taking conscious control of your creation so you weren't stuck in your old patterns. Well, this is a good way to do it. So one of the ways you can do it, and you can do this both spoken and unspoken words. I remember years ago when I first started in Unity, it was a revelation to me, and that was 40 years ago, that our words, our spoken words have power. So do our inside words. So we want to use them carefully. So you can, and here's a statement you can use to call forth your I am presence. You can say, from my I am presence, I call forth abundance in my life. That's a big thing. Peace in my life. My perfect life partner. What do you want to create in your life? You can also ask for help. It's a great one for asking for help. Pick out your favorite archangel, ascended master, other angelic being. Call them forth to help you. They are just hanging right with us all the time, just waiting to spring forth into action. We have to call them forth. And this is, you can use any word you want, but this is a good statement to do it. From my body and presence, I call forth Archangel Gabriel for help. Any other ones you want to do? Now, with this power also comes responsibility. So you are the creators of your life, and as you learn to take control of your life back and create consciously, there's also a responsibility. So you have to be aware of your thoughts and conscious of them. So think about this statement. If you say, I am tired, what do you think you're going to feel like? Think about that. Yeah, you're going to feel tired. I used to say it all the time, and I've learned how to reprogram it. I now say, I am resting as a way to recharge. Or you could say, I am happy. You know, choose to be happy. Choose the things you want to have. The bottom line is you are the creator of your life. That's a reality. That's a truth. Cannot be denied. The only unreality is how long you choose to accept that responsibility and begin to work with it in your life. You can absolutely build the life you want to have. I remember when I started in Unity, they had things called treasure maps. Didn't understand it then, but it was this thing where you create a poster, you put pictures of the things you wanted. And that was a good way to do it. Now there are a lot of new techniques you can do too. So you're always the creator of your life. My final question for you, what are you creating right now in your life? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be here today. Before we get started, because I will forget, I want to talk about where we're going. After the meditation, we're going to be doing, I'm going to do just a short part of the meditation, and then Dr. Joe I'm going to be channeling Dr. Joe. Well, use your imagination. He'll be on the recording. So it's going to be a high energy meditation, not generally what we're used to. And then Cheryl is going to come up before the end of it, and she's going to we got a lot of moving parts, so she's going to try to ease right into the music, so we're not interrupted by any talking at all. So we're just going to flow with the music today. So I am going to get started with my talk, and my title is The Music Changed. All of God's expression in nature send out a vibration that in some way serves the world. And that's another Paramahansa Yogananda, my favorite person to quote. And I just love this, because it means that we are all sending out our vibration in a way that serves the world. Not just us, but every animal, every creature, every living being is sending out a vibration. And it's all coming together to create the world that we live in. So my talk title could have been, The Vibration Changed. We're all energy. We each have our own vibe. And in all the universe, each vibration has its part to play in the symphony of the cosmos. I'm going to start with a story from 25 years ago, when I had my first true mystical experience in my first ever breath workshop with Thora and Weaver Hess. I believe that those two were true mystics, the only ones I've ever met, and they were happy to share their wisdom with anyone who was interested. The reason I share this story is to show some of the different and wonderful dimensions that are open to us when we are open to them. So this is December 2nd, 1995. It shows you how often I go through my stuff. I was running, wearing a loose yellow dress. I was running from the past, but not in terror as before. There was something behind me, and I glimpsed back a few times, but saw nothing. There was a little fear and a lot of excitement. It was easy to outrun whatever it was I left behind. The music changed. And what I should say is that this workshop was all about music. And we had our journals with us to write down any experience that we might have through the music. And I was just moving the whole time with this. So the next scene, I was running in a beautiful sunny green meadow, full of light. Still running, leaping for joy. All fear was gone. I run into the arms of a man, and we waltz and spin. I don't even know how to waltz. He has the face of an angel. And then it goes away, and then it comes back. We are spinning, laughing, and there is love. My dress is white. The music changes. We are running together, hand in hand, and are suddenly soaring through the air. We dance with the stars and leap from rainbow to rainbow. We are traveling through time and space. Then I am riding alone on the back of Falcor, the flying dog from Never Ending Story. I am full of excitement. The music changed. I am in a field of flowers, ready to bloom. They all started popping at once. This was a true technicolor wonder. I was thinking it was like the poppies in The Wizard of Oz. At first, they were artificial looking, not plastic or dried or glass, but vivid, unmoving, and rigid. They were glorious. Then they came to life, each one individually, and the effect of the masses of all of the millions of them, each one full of the beauty and wonder of life. Then I was a bud about to flower. I burst forth and was magnificent, shining and glowing, exquisite. I grew larger and began to dance, spinning and leaping like a ballerina. As I spun, I gave off light, and then I turned to fire, warm and glowing, not hungry or consuming. I felt passion and heat at the same time, comfort and warmth. The music changed. I am a river, a waterfall. Then I become a deep, still lake. Then I am beside the lake, looking into its depths. It is Wolfgang See, my wonderful, beautiful lake, my beloved lake. I can see the rocks deep down, the clarity of the shapes, the clearness of the water, the blueness. I can feel tears. I am still by the lake, but I am climbing the Stations of the Cross. And this is right next to the lake. There is a hill that has all the Stations of the Cross going up to a small chapel at the top of it. And this is in Austria. I am crying as I do the Stations of the Cross. I ring the chapel bell when I get to the top. I continue on the path to St. Wolfgang. I am at the lake, looking in. I am in the field of flowers outside of my house in Winkel. They are real. I am climbing the Schafberg. Through the woods and meadows, I see the mountain goat. I am at the lake, looking at the still water. I am at the mountaintop. I am crying. I can see Mondsee and Abersee, Krotensee and beyond. I can see the wonder and beauty all around me, at my feet, laid out before me. I am at the lake, looking in. I sleep. I must have slept for a while, because when I woke up, I had one last entry. A choir of angels filled the room with their music. They were exquisite. Golden wings, white robes. They were all around us, filling the room with light. So that was a breath workshop, and it was pretty powerful. It was kind of 60s-ish. What I like about this story is that every time I read it, I see it with different eyes. I tried to look at it metaphysically, but that didn't work so well. Part of what I got from this experience was that I was always running from something, all of my younger years. And I would tarry a while with a new interest, then soar from one adventure to another. It wasn't until I got quiet and looked into the depths of the lake when I became the lake. When I slowed down, when I reflected, that I came to a place where I could finally stop running. I turned around to face that which was chasing me and found there was nothing there. A few weeks ago, I started a workshop with Ken Wilber. I woke at 3 a.m. the morning of the 4th day of the workshop, and I couldn't get back to sleep. It was a pretty exciting workshop. So I did my meditation, a Joe Dispenza meditation, and then I started to write. The first thought that revealed itself to me at 3 a.m. was, I have this world inside me, and at the same time, I am in this world. The universe speaks through me in harmony with the music of all life. As my understanding expands, I think I did that wrong. Here we go. As my understanding expands, my universe expands. It has to contain all the wonder and despair, the suffering, the healing, the splendor, the loss and renewal, the joy and the sorrows, the magnificence, the cruelty, compassion, the curiosity, awe, and wonder. Every bit of it, every single thing makes up life as we know it, and it's all part of it. How can I know the fullness if I reject any of the nuances? If I don't allow the shadows to come into the light? If I can't dance with all of me, if I can't go into the depths of the darkness in me and let in some light, how can I reach the peaks of the mountain where the sun shines so intensely? We must feel it all in order to heal it and know the fullness of life. It is all part of us, ever expanding. Think about that. We are expanding as the universe expands to make room for us, to make room for our ever-evolving consciousness. We are pushing the universe to expand. This is the time of awakening and evolving, transcending and including. That's part of the evolutionary spiral we've all talked about before. We are evolving constantly. Some say the universe is winding down, and it might appear that way. It might appear that we're devolving. In reality, the universe is winding up, always making more room, shifting, while the music changes. The music changes all the time. Now, if you think of yourself as a lead character in this play about life, you know that as the scene changes, so does the music. I remember being somewhat annoyed when the music would change in this workshop. It wasn't beautiful music playing. It was more techno and loud. So it would take me a few moments to adjust to the sound. I would just get comfortable, a little cozy. Maybe I wanted to be fire for a little while longer, or dance with the stranger, but the music changed. In reflecting on this 25 years later, I realized that this is something that life does in order to move us along in our growth. We get comfortable, and the music changes. Someone leaves. We lose a job, or someone close gets sick. It's not about what tune is playing. It is about how we adapt to that music, and sometimes it takes longer than other times. How we accept and transcend. How we learn to dance to the next song, whether it be riding the flying dog, running through meadows, or climbing the stations of the cross. I remember wondering why they had to keep changing that damn music. I am just now realizing the significance of that. It's about life. The music changes. In doing this Ken Wilber work, I am revisiting old information and learning some new. So look for my next class to be based on this work, the integral life, the quadrants, levels, and lines of consciousness, cleaning up the shadow, those things that really push your buttons, and the paradigm shift that we are in the midst of right now. Something that came up for me in this class this past week was something I hadn't heard before. Most of us have done some sort of shadow work. There's many different types of shadow work, and I think every minister that's come here has brought something to do with shadow work. It's part of our legacy as unity people. What I didn't know is that there are two kinds of shadows. The allergy shadow is the one we had talked about, the negative shadow, the one where we can't stand a certain person and we have no idea why. There's no clear reason, except that that person is shining a light on us so brightly. Sometimes we miss the fact that they are healing. They are there to heal us. They are triggering in us the very issue we thought we had tucked away pretty securely. This is where the work begins. The second kind, the one that I hadn't heard about, maybe I wasn't here that Sunday, is called the addiction shadow. This is positive usually, unless carried to extremes. It's kind of known as hero worship. The positive qualities in someone else that we are not ready to own for ourselves. So we meet someone who exudes these traits, and we put that person on a pedestal. I've done that. Isn't that the way Christianity was born? This also works with other addictions besides people, like food, power, drugs, control, chocolate. And they can be worked on through the same process. They are just like the hero, sitting on a pedestal, not easy to ignore, but easy to misunderstand. The solution is to re-own the element that is projected onto someone else. Briefly, we start with a process by locating it in the third person. It. Talking to it in the second person. You. Questioning what it wants from you, etc. And being it in first person. I. Reclaiming the energy it took to keep the illusion alive. I have an example of how I worked with this on day 13, cleaning up the shadow. I had been collaborating with a group of women and as a part of a team, and began to see big control issues come to the surface. I had a certain position in this group, and I was told by one person that I couldn't effectively do it unless I conformed to the way she wanted it done. This position I had was one that required creativity and flexibility. So I had major problems with someone else dictating that. I can't tell if that's showing up there, yeah. This process is called 3, 2, 1. I have some worksheets for the process on the table near the door if you're interested, pick one up. Try it out for yourself and free up some space in your busy brain. This process works with either the addiction or the allergy shadow. So what I did in working with this process was I set up an empty chair across from myself and saw the group all together. That was my it in the third person, the group. And essentially control. That was also the it issue. I had to bring the group into second person. So what I did was I brought the my way or the highway person to the empty chair, and I spoke to her in second person, in you. Why do you need to control everything? We are supposed to be working on this as a team. Everything has to be your way. And frankly, this is a sure way to destroy creativity. You are ruining everything we are supposed to be creating and to represent. Well, then I took the role of the shadow, and I moved to the other seat. I moved to the shadow seat. So the invisible person, you, responded to me. I want documentation. I need notes, process, control, and that's the way it's going to be. Maybe you should look at why you are so resistant to order. Well, my shadow is not supposed to advise me, it's just supposed to show me the way, but it showed me the way with words, which is way cool. Ordinarily, I would need to figure out how to use this control issue, but the monster, we call it Ken Wilber calls it the monster, gave me exactly what I needed. Order is elusive to me, in spite of my periodic attempts to manifest it in my life. That last sentence was a gem. That was my insight. I can allow them, the group, it, or simply the control, to be in its paradigm, and for me to be in mine, without arguing that either one is better. I do not need to own any part of this. Just let it go. I can take the gift I was given and go with that. I began to see what it was we had learned in that first lesson on paradigms. Every approach is true, but partial. That means that there is no right or wrong, and that each woman in that group has their own truth, their own partial truth, because it's not the collective truth. The commonality in this group and in the circumstances is control, as I identify it. There is a non-exclusion clause here. Everyone and everything is included, integrally connected. Each truth stands wholly on its own, and each participant is seeing through the lens of their own stage of enlightenment. We are all in different stages, and sometimes that's part of the clash of ideas. As we evolve, each level transcends and includes what came before it. Each new level co-creates with the previous one. We are a hologram, and what affects each one of us affects all of us. And as Paramahansa Yogananda said, sends out a vibration that in some way serves the world. Addictions, go back to the addiction part of this shadow, which for some is people, for others is all the other things that I listed. But addictions always is disappoint, sooner or later. So let's change that music. I think I skipped a couple slides here. In winding this down, I close with a few words from Ken Wilber on day 20 that ran a chill through my body, kind of made the hair stand up on the back of my neck, because it concerned my opening story. And he said, and I quote, "I am one with the entire field. The entire world is arising within me. In my being, I am one with all of it." End quote. I no longer see the mountain. I am the mountain. I no longer feel the rain. I am the rain. I am a flower. I am fire. and the music changes. God bless you all. We're going into meditation now. So, thank you. Let's just take a moment and breathe together in the oneness that we are. We center ourselves now in the one presence and one power. As we give thanks and open our hearts. On your next breath in, breathe in the infinite light and being from above, bringing it down through the heart and filling your entire body. Feel the fullness of that being. Feel it as it spills out of you and embraces with infinite love everything that is arising in unity with all. Feel the loving fullness as it embraces the entire world with infinite loving fullness and radiant light. Feel that fully on the in-breath. Then on the out-breath, simply release everything. Let go of all of it. Take another deep breath and fill up with that radiant light and love. And let yourself feel the vibrant, creative, extraordinary being that you are. Now just sigh it out and let it all go. Open to that extraordinariness and allow it to pulse through you as we all open to the voice of Joe Dispenza as the music changes.
Love yourself. Who do you want to be when you open your eyes? Come on. To become unlimited is to feel unlimited. To empower your creation, you must become empowered. To create a new life, is to fall in love with life. To live in magnificence is to feel magnificent. to bless our lives is to feel blessed by life. To emulate the Creator. Is to become a creator. To embody the divine is to feel divine. Shining your lights brighter. Come on, it's your frequency. It's your energy. Particle and wave. Matter and energy. A new field that the atoms, the molecules, the chemicals, cells, tissues, your organs, God bless them, systems of your body are drawing from a new light. Come on, feel it. And slowly bring your awareness back to your body, to this environment, and to this time.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that. It's beautiful. And thank you, Karen, for your message this morning. I had no idea when I referenced our world and the world that it was going to tie into your message. So that's synchronicity and the spirit are just amazing things. So it's crazy. Anyways, unity stands for the peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, as we know that there is only one power, one presence, and one life. So whoever you are, or wherever you are in your spiritual journey of transformation, you are welcomed here in this place. If you are new to our ministry and are interested in learning more about our upcoming transformational speakers, workshops, and events, please sign up for our email newsletter by texting Unity Spokane to 22828, or you can sign up on our website at unityspokane.org. We would also like to connect with you on our social media platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can just search for Unity Spiritual Center of Spokane to find us. Now's the time for our greeting, and I wish those of you in the internet could see all the faces that I'm seeing here this morning. We're going to take a moment and stand as we acknowledge each other with a socially distanced namaste. If you're here in the sanctuary or whether you're at home, please feel free to stand as you're able and send your conscious, loving energy to those around you. Thank you. Now is our time to celebrate abundance together as we share our gifts and love offerings. For those feeling the divine call to financially support our ministry today, you can either drop your offering in the box at the back of the sanctuary if you're here. Another option is to give through a text message. You can text the word give, you text give to 253-528-7416, or visit our website, unityspokane.org, and click the donate button. I think I've said it before, I save the Unity, the give on my address book, and then every Sunday I just pull it up and send a message how much I'm giving, and it works out really smooth. You also get a confirmation back too, so you know that you're sending it to the right place. We also want to acknowledge and thank all of the automatic givers who have kept this ministry afloat during our time of virtual only services, as well as through our limited time together during COVID-19. We couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have done it without the support and your faithfulness. So we want to thank you for your continuous generosity. With that in mind, let's take a moment to now sink into our hearts and bring forth a feeling of gratitude as we say together our love offering. Our love blessing is, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. Our chaplains today are Steve, who is holding virtual service in prayer from home, and Diane, who is holding the space here in the sanctuary. We thank Steve and Diane for your service today. We would also like to encourage anyone who is in need of prayer support to please submit your requests through our online form. Simply go to unityspokane.org and click on the Contact Us button. You will be taken to a prayer request form. Names are added to our prayer list, and they're prayed for 30 days here, as well as at the prayer ministry at Silent Unity as well. So now it's time for our prayer for protection. And let us all join now in our closing prayer for protection, and then we'll follow that with our peace song. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth. Thank you, everyone, and you are dismissed.